The following program is transcribed.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman who today finds it necessary once again to call on his friend Batman for assistance. We'll join them in just a moment. But first, here's Superman himself with a personal message for you.
Hello, everyone. This is Superman, bringing you best wishes for a very Merry Christmas from Lois Lane, Perry White, Jimmy Olsen, and myself. You know, after so many years of half-heartedly celebrating this wonderful holiday while the world was at war, while the many men and women we knew and loved were scattered all over the globe, Christmas today is very extra special. It's special because many of our friends and relatives are back home to celebrate Christmas with us. And because, once more, peace on earth, goodwill to men is more than just a beautiful phrase. On this Christmas day, let's all determine to do everything we can to see that this remains a lasting peace on earth through the everyday practice of goodwill to men. You see, wars grow out of misunderstanding, hate, and intolerance. All things that were preached against by the Prince of Peace, whose nativity we celebrate today. Now, if we try to understand our fellow men, if we avoid hate and banish intolerance, we would do away with the cause for war, and this scourge would forever disappear from the earth. Try to remember always that, as Abraham Lincoln said, all men are created equal. Regardless of race, creed, or color, we're all humans, entitled to the same respect and privileges. Here in America, all of us, black and white, Catholic, Protestant, and Jew, are all Americans. And we must live together peaceably at home if we are to live in peace with the rest of the world. Let's see that forever hereafter there is peace on earth, goodwill to men. A Merry Christmas to you all.
Now, the adventures of Superman.
Learning the whereabouts of 2 stolen pieces of kryptonite, the deadly element which robs Superman of his great strength, a mysterious criminal leader calling himself Mr. Jones boasted that he would destroy the Man of Steel. Clark Kent and Inspector Henderson found Jones' broken throat atomizer, and locating the jewelry shop where it had been purchased, learned that a man giving the name of Phillips had just ordered a similar one by telephone. Hiding in the shop on Christmas Eve, Kent and Henderson were stunned when Lois Lane, girl reporter for the Daily Planet, called for the atomizer. They trailed her to a church, where Lois took a position in the choir box. A moment later, a slender, scholarly-looking man appeared and was identified as Mr. Phillips, the choir leader. As we continue now, the choir has begun to sing, and Kent and Henderson, seated in a rear pew, realize that the choir leader answers perfectly to the description of the murderous Mr. Jones. Listen.
Kent, that choir leader is Jones, the guy we're looking for.
Well, he answers the description Batman gave us all right. He's thin, scholarly, even the pince-nez glasses. But I can't believe it.
Whether you believe it or not, it's true. Jones is masquerading as a choir leader named Phillips. But he slipped up when he sent Miss Lane to pick up his atomizer. And now I'm going to pick him up.
Wait, Inspector.
Wait, nothing. That guy is a crook and a murderer.
Come here.
Let go of my sleeve.
Have you forgotten where you are? You're in church. This is Christmas Eve and services are going on.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Besides, we're not sure he is, Mr. Jones.
Not sure? Didn't we find his busted atomizer in the bookstore where he shot the Scarlet Widow?
I know.
And didn't he order a duplicate from the same jewelry shop where he bought the first one, using the name of Phillips?
I know all that, and I'm inclined to agree with you. But neither you nor I ever saw Jones, so we can't make a positive identification.
Wait till I get my hands on him. I'll get the truth out of
You
him.
might not. The thing to do is to get someone here who knows him, who's seen him.
Yeah? Who?
Batman, of course, or Robin. They both know Mr. Jones. He tried to finish them off in his phony sanitarium.
Well, where are you going to find them? Nobody knows where they keep themselves.
I think I might be able to find them. You wait here, Inspector.
Just try to get me away.
Okay, but just don't tackle our choir leader friend until I get back.
Are you trying to tell me how to run my job again?
No.
Well, on your way, then. And if you want to be in at the finish, make sure you're back by the time those Vesper carols are over. Because the minute they are, I'm going to put handcuffs on Mr. Jones and Miss Lane.
Leaving the church, Kent swiftly resumes his true identity of Superman and streaks through the dark evening skies to the other end of the city, where he drops down before a handsome brick residence where Batman and Robin live under their true names of Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson. A large illuminated Christmas tree stands on the terrace, and Batman, wearing the gray tweeds of Bruce Wayne and looking worn and weary, opens the door to Superman's ring.
Oh, hello, Superman. Hey, come on in. I've got bad news for you.
Why, what happened?
Robin and I lost Mr. Jones' trail. I'm awfully
Don't
sorry.
worry about it. I think Inspector Henderson and I picked it up.
You did?
Uh-huh.
Where? When?
Jones is at a church across town, masquerading as a choir leader named Phillips, or so we think. We need you to identify him. Can you come over now?
Well, all I have to do is close the... Oh, wait. Do we need Robin?
I don't think so. Not at the moment, anyhow.
Well, good. Come on, then. I made him go to bed. He was pretty worn out.
Well, no wonder. After your little experience in room 0. Well, all set for a quick trip?
We go by Superman Express, eh?
Non-stop.
All
Hang
right.
on.
Let her rip.
Here we go, then. Up and away!
Oh, you're a lot faster than my bat plane. If you ever need a job, Superman, come to see me.
Thanks a lot. I'll remember that.
Gosh. Don't ever tell Robin about this ride. He'd never forgive me for leaving him behind.
I'll make it up to him. That looks like our church ahead. Fasten your safety belt. We're going down.
Roger.
Down to those bushes. Down! There we are. Oh, good. Choir's still singing. Okay, strip to your Batman costume. Then I'll get back into Clark Kent's clothes.
What for? Oh, yes. I saw Jones as Batman.
That's right.
Can't very well identify him as Bruce Wayne, can I?
No. And I left here as Kent. You realize you're the only person in the world who knows I'm Superman?
These quick changes get a little confusing sometimes, don't they?
You're not kidding. I've almost given myself away to Jimmy Olsen a dozen times. There we are. Now, my specs. Okay. You all set?
I'll just have to get my hood and mask on. There. Here, I'm ready. Lead me to friend Jones.
Come on.
Oh, it's starting to snow. Looks like we'll have a nice white Christmas.
Won't be nice for me.
Well, why not? This bird is really Jones. We'll make him give out with where the Kryptonite is, and all your troubles will be over.
Not quite. I haven't had the heart to tell you yet, but Lois Lane is mixed up with him some way.
What?
Yes, she... Uh-oh, hold it.
What's up?
I guess the carols are about over. We're going to open the doors. Quick, get behind this bush.
You were right. That X-ray vision of yours comes in handy. But where's the choir leader?
He's joining Lois. Now they're starting down the aisle together. Oh.
What now?
Oh, she just gave him the atomizer.
What atomizer?
I'll explain later. I was hoping she wouldn't give it to him. Wait a minute, here comes Henderson. Suppose he's going to stand outside and grab them. Inspector!
Oh, there you are, Kent. Listen, she gave him the atomizer.
I know.
Batman!
Merry Christmas, Inspector.
How did you find him, Kent?
Why,
Oh, yes, he,
Never mind, tell me later. Here comes our saintly choir leader and Lois Lane. You see them, Batman?
I think so, but not very clearly. There's too many people around.
They're moving this way. You'll get a good look at our bird in just a moment. And we're counting on you to identify him.
If he's Jones, you can depend on my knowing him. I've got a little score to settle with that rat. Oh, I see him now.
Is it Jones?
Wait till he gets closer. I want to hear his voice.
Tensely, Clark Kent and Inspector Henderson watch Lois Lane and the slender, scholarly-looking choir leader approach through the crowd and wait for Batman to identify the man as Mr. Jones. If he does, Superman may be freed from the menace of the deadly Kryptonite forever. But Lois will be branded as a criminal. We'll return in a moment for the dramatic climax of today's episode. Outside a church on Christmas Eve, Clark Kent and Inspector Henderson are waiting for Batman to identify the choir leader as Mr. Jones, a criminal leader and murderer. He is now approaching through the crowd with Lois Lane. Listen.
Well, Batman, is it Jones or not?
Just a second, Inspector. I want to see him close up and hear his voice.
Oh, weren't the Vespers lovely tonight, Mr. Phillips?
Indeed, they were, Miss Lane. You members of the choir did me proud.
Thank you. Oh, look, it's starting to snow, and you forgot your hat.
No, I didn't. I never wear a hat.
Well, how about it, Batman?
No, I don't think he's Jones.
He isn't.
No, he looks amazingly like him, but no, it's not Jones.
I'm sorry. But I'm glad, too, for Lois's sake.
You're sure you won't catch cold, Mr. Phillips?
Oh, I never catch cold.
Famous last words.
Wait, it is Jones.
What? It is?
Yes, his voice fooled me at first.
You sure?
I'm positive. He's putting on an act, but it's still Jones. I swear to
Nice
it.
at this
That's
time.
enough for me. Let's go.
Now, wait, Inspector. Don't scare Lois.
You keep out of this,
We
Kent.
always wanted, but very seldom.
Good evening, Mr. Jones.
I beg your pardon.
Never mind begging my pardon. Just put your hands out for the pretty bracelets.
What?
Inspector Henderson, what is the meaning of this?
As if you didn't know, Miss Lane. Come on, Jonesy. Put out your hand.
What?
Clark
Hello, Lois.
and Batman. Wait, Clark, what is this? Well, why are you looking at me so strangely? And what is Inspector Henderson doing to Mr. Phillips?
Now, see
Save
here,
it for the
sir.
judge. All right, Miss Lane. Let's try this other bracelet on you. For size.
What? I should say not.
I don't understand.
Clark, are you just going to stand there and let him handcuff me?
I'm sorry, Lois. There's nothing I can do about it.
But
There, that does it.
What?
Now, we'll come along quietly, both of you. I gave you a break taking you behind this bush where it's dark. But if you want all your church friends to see you...
I don't care what they see. I want to know the meaning of this outrage.
So do I.
Oh, cut out the comedy, will you? Now, I've got a taxi waiting up the street. If you want to act nice, we can ride in that.
What?
Otherwise, I'll have to call the wagon.
The wagon? You must be out of your mind, Inspector. Clark, will you stop standing there like a gook and explain this? I suppose it's a joke, but it
Maybe
isn't
murder
very...
is a joke to you, Miss Lane, but not to us.
Murder? Well, I...
Mr. Jones here murdered the Scarlet Widow, Lois.
Mr. Jones. Oh, so that's it. You've made a mistake. This isn't Mr. Jones.
Of course not. My name is Algernon Phillips.
Yeah, and mine's Humperdinck Hornschnozzle. Let's get going to that taxi.
I will not budge until I know what this is all about.
You'll move and move fast, Miss Lane.
Now, look...
And if it'll make you feel any better, which it won't, Kent and I were in the jewelry shop this evening when you picked up the atomizer for your friend, Mr. Jones.
The atomizer? Oh, of course I did. But I don't understand.
I think I do now.
You realize we've got the goods on you, huh, Jones?
I realize it's time to reveal my secret.
What?
We know your secret, chum.
No, you don't, Inspector. It's a strange and quite terrible story, one I've kept locked in my heart for years. But now, well, I guess I can't keep it secret any longer. I live just a few doors down the street. If you gentlemen would be good enough to accompany me there...
Nothing doing. We're going to headquarters.
Please, Inspector. You see I'm not armed. You can examine my house carefully before we go in. I assure you, you won't regret it. But if you insist on going to headquarters now, I'll never tell my story.
Oh, no?
Take him up, Inspector. What can you lose?
That's what I say.
Huh? Well, okay. We'll go to your house, Jones. But remember, don't try any tricks. It won't be healthy.
I quite realize that. Shall we go?
Yeah. And remember, I'm right behind you. With a gun.
Handcuffed together, the slender, scholarly-looking choir leader and Lois Lane start away from the church, closely followed by Inspector Henderson and a puzzled Clark Kent and Batman. What is the strange and terrible story Mr. Phillips, or is it Mr. Jones, has promised to reveal? Well, it's a strange story, fellows and girls, one you won't want to miss. So be sure to tune in tomorrow, same time, same station, for The Adventures of Superman.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman. And today, the man who calls himself Mr. Phillips promises to tell Inspector Henderson his story. We'll join them in a moment. When Lois Lane called at a jewelry shop for a handsome silver-encrusted atomizer ordered by a man believed to be Mr. Jones, the mysterious criminal leader who had boasted he could destroy Superman, Clark Kent and Inspector Henderson trailed the girl reporter to a church. It was Christmas Eve, and to the amazement of Kent and Henderson, the choir leader at the church answered perfectly to the description of Mr. Jones. As Superman, Kent left and returned with Batman, who positively identified the choir leader as Jones. Henderson arrested both Jones and Lois, and the man who at first insisted his name was Phillips then offered to reveal a strange story. As we continue now in a small music studio almost filled by a baby grand piano with Batman on guard in the front hall, The slender, scholarly-looking choir leader sits opposite Henderson, Kent, and Lois, and nervously fingering his pince-nez glasses, begins his story. Listen.
Going to tell you a secret I've kept locked in my heart for many years. I didn't believe anything could ever make me reveal it. But now...
But now that we've got the goods on you, you decided to come clean, huh? Or is this another trick?
I assure you it is not, Inspector.
Well, if it is, it won't work. You can take my word for it.
I understand. I want to tell you about two brothers who loved each other very dearly.
I'm not interested in two brothers. I'm interested in 2 stolen pieces of kryptonite that you said you were going to use to finish Superman. Now, where are they?
Well, how would Mr. Phillips know where the kryptonite
He
is?
tricked the Scarlet Widow into telling him and then shot her, that's how.
The Scarlet Widow?
What? Oh, you're mad, Inspector. You're stark-staring mad.
Now, wait a minute.
Look,
Well,
that line won't get you any place, Miss Lane. You know Phillips is Mr. Jones.
I know.
Yes, you.
Well, I never
Lois,
heard...
Inspector, stop it. We're not getting anywhere this way.
Well, then I-
Now, we agreed to listen to this man's story, so let's do it.
Fair enough, Kent. Go ahead. Say your piece.
Yes, Inspector. I started to tell you about two brothers who were very close to each other. But while they were in college, one of them, we'll call him Richard, was seriously hurt in an automobile accident. For a long time, he was not expected to live. And when he finally recovered, he was changed.
How do you mean, changed?
He was altogether different, Mr. Kent. He mistrusted everyone, and soon he began to hate everyone. He hardly ever talked to anyone, and when he did, it was to say something sneering or nasty.
I don't see where this is getting us any place.
Please let me finish, Inspector.
Okay.
In the two brothers last year at college, Richard, the one who had been in the accident, was expelled for stealing. He was furious. He said it showed that everyone was against him. He swore he'd get back at them. Then he forged his father's name to a check. That practically bankrupted his father, and Richard disappeared.
He was mentally sick.
Well, of course he was.
I'm beginning to get the drift of all this, Jones. You're hoping to beat a murder rap by pleading insanity.
Just a minute, Inspector. You don't understand. I haven't been telling you about myself.
Huh?
What do you mean?
I've been telling you about my brother.
Your brother?
Yes.
Oh, I think I get it. You see,
Hold
Inspector...
it, Kent. Let him talk. Go on, Jones.
My brother's name actually is Richard. We're twins. And I'm very much afraid that Richard is the man you speak of as Mr. Jones.
Good heavens.
How do you like that guy trying to pull a gag like that on me? Look, mister, we've wasted enough time.
Just a moment. I'll prove that I'm telling the truth.
Hey, where are you going?
Just to this cabinet. There's something in it you should see.
Now, don't get any ideas like pulling a gun.
There are no guns in the cabinet, Inspector.
You stay out of this, Kent.
Here, I have an album here which I'd like to show all of you. Perhaps you'd like to call the gentleman in the strange costume who identified me as Mr. Jones.
That man? No, I want him to stay in the hall and watch the entrance. But don't worry. He can hear everything.
Very well. Here, I'll set the album on the piano where you can all see it. Now, here are photographs of Richard and myself as infants. We were, as you can see, identical twins.
Well, yes. What cute baby.
Baby pictures don't mean a thing.
What's that? Oh, I see what you mean. Here, I'll skip to where we're older then. Here we are in high school.
Well, I could tell one of those boys was you, Mr. Phillips.
Well, I couldn't.
Well, how about these pictures of us in college then, Inspector?
Huh?
Now, these were taken before Richard's accident. You certainly recognize me there, don't you?
He'd have to be blind if he didn't.
Is that so?
Yes.
Okay, so those pictures do look like you, and like you've got an identical twin brother, too. But I've seen plenty of trick photography.
Of all the suspicious people.
It's my business to be suspicious, particularly where murder is involved. Now, look, Mr. Jones, or Phillips, if you're telling the truth, I suppose you've got some birth records around.
Unfortunately, I haven't.
Uh-oh. Well, I didn't think you did.
You see, my father was town clerk in the little Iowa town where Richard and I were born. He and Mother lived in the town hall, and when a fire destroyed it, and then...
Yeah, I get it. All the records were lost, including the birth records of you and your twin brother. Honest, Jones, for a guy who was head of the Crescent and Star Mob, you ought to be able to do better than that.
I swear it's the truth.
Well, where is this twin brother of yours?
I don't know.
Sure. Now, let's get going. We've wasted too much time already. You too, Miss Lane.
Me?
Naturally. Unless it was your twin sister who picked up the atomizer for Jones this evening. Come on.
No. Clark, don't let him.
Just a moment, Inspector.
I told you before to stay out of this, Kent.
But...
Okay, Jones. Hold out your right hand. You hold out your left, Miss Lane.
Please, Inspector, wait one moment. You're wrong, and I can prove it. Or rather, Mr. Phillips can.
I'm not listening to any more twin brother gags.
You won't have to. Now, Mr. Phillips, an innocent girl's reputation and freedom are involved here. And there's a little business of a murder. So
So I think the thing to do is to convince Inspector Henderson he's wrong, don't you?
Well, I
know how you feel, Mr. Phillips. But at a time like this...
You're right, Mr. Kent. I'll do it.
Do what? Prove he's not Jones, of course. In the only way that'll convince you. Go ahead, Mr. Phillips.
Puzzled, Inspector Henderson and Lois Lane look at the thin, scholarly-looking choir leader. What does Clark Kent mean? How can Phillips prove he is not Mr. Jones? We'll return in a moment to find out. In the small music studio of Mr. Algernon Phillips, or is it Mr. Jones, Clark Kent has just challenged the choir leader to prove he is not the head of the criminal Crescent and Star gang, and Phillips has agreed.
You're right, Mr. Kent. Miss Lane's reputation and freedom are involved. Under the circumstances, my conscience will not permit me to protect Richard any longer.
Sounds like double talk to me.
Just a moment, Inspector. All right, go on, Mr. Phillips. Tell him about the atomizer.
Yes, you see, Inspector, I purchased that first atomizer for my brother Richard.
You did?
Yes, I neglected to tell you that as the years went on, Richard became a fanatic about disease. He was deathly afraid of germs and infections. Christmas, I was passing the jewelry shop of Thayer & Son. I saw a beautiful atomizer in the window. It was made of lovely crystal encrusted with silver. The price was really more than I could afford, but I could not resist buying it for Richard.
You said he disappeared. How'd you expect to give it to him?
Well, on Christmas Eve each year, Richard telephones me. On a few occasions, he's even come to see me.
Really?
Yes. Richard was mad about the atomizer I bought him. For the first time since we were in college, I heard a kind word, a word of thanks from him. I did not hear from him last Christmas, but early this afternoon he phoned me. He was quite distracted. He said he had just broken his atomizer.
That's the one we found in the bookshop, Lois, where the Scarlet Widow was shot.
Oh, I'm beginning to get this now.
All right. Go on, Mr. Phillips.
My brother wanted to know where I'd bought the atomizer, the one that he'd broken. I told him that I'd get him another one, because I wanted to see him again. I told him I'd have it for him tonight, and because Miss Lane's office is near Thayer & Son, I asked her if she would pick it up for me.
Never mind that. What did your brother say?
He said he would either come for it himself tonight or send Tara.
There. You hear that, Inspector?
Yeah, it's okay if it's true. Who's Tara?
Tara's a Hindu boy who attached himself to my brother when he was in India several years ago. He's devoted to him.
I see. And your brother said either he or the Hindu boy would come here tonight, is that it?
Yes, he told me to be sure to be alone, and I promised that I would. I had no idea this terrible thing would come up, or that Richard could be a murderer.
Well, maybe this makes things a little different. That's Batman. Somebody's coming.
It's a boy wearing a turban. It must be Tara. He's coming up the walk.
Well, how do you know, Clark?
He's right. Now, look, Kent. You and Batman slip out the back way and around to the front of the house. I'll be on the back stairs with Miss Lane. You, Phillips, give the boy the atomizer and say nothing about us. You savvy? Okay, Batman. Go out the back door with Kent. Now, come on, Miss Lane, and move fast. And if this is a trick, lady, and you try anything, it'll be just too bad for you and your choir leader friend. That's the bell. Now, do your stuff, Phillips, and make good. Come on, everybody, out the back way. If this is on the level, we'll have Mr. Jones behind bars tonight.
Well, I'll do my best. I'm coming.
Hurriedly, Inspector Henderson, Clark Kent, Batman, and Lois leave the studio apartment by the back door as the bell rings again, announcing Mr. Jones' Hindu servant. Will he lead them to Mr. Jones, or is this a desperate trick? Tomorrow, an amazing thing happens, fellows and girls. Something beyond even Superman's and Batman's ability to cope with. So tune in then, same time, same station, for the adventures of Superman.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents the adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, who is today hoping to find the mysterious Mr. Jones through his servant, Tara. We'll learn what happens in a moment. Convinced that a choir master who calls himself Algernon Phillips is in reality the mysterious Mr. Jones, an infamous criminal who had sworn to destroy Superman, and that Lois Lane is in league with him, Police Inspector Henderson ordered their arrest, despite Clark Kent's vehement protests. Phillips, while asserting his innocence, admitted he was Jones's twin brother and volunteered to help Kent and the inspector in their search for the missing man. He informed them that his brother or a young Hindu servant would call that evening for the atomizer he had purchased. Just then, Kent warned Henderson that a Hindu boy was approaching the building. As we continue now, the inspector and Lois Lane are hiding in the kitchen of Phillips' apartment, guarding the rear entrance, while Kent and Batman, who is helping him, wait across the street from the building, covering the front door. They huddle in a cold, dark alley as the swirling snow begins to pile high on the deserted street.
Oh, boy. We certainly picked a fine night to play watchdogs, Kent. And the time that little Hindu comes out, I'll be an icicle.
Oh, go on. It isn't that cold.
Well, maybe not for you, my muscle-bound friend, but I'm positive my toes have cracked off. At least I can't feel them anymore.
Well, there's that much less of you to be cold.
What's going on in there, anyhow? Why is he taking so long? Put that X-ray vision of yours to work.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Phillips is handing the boy a package.
The atomizer?
Yes.
At last. Maybe now we can get moving again.
Well, Phillips is still questioning him.
And still trying to find out where his brother is, I suppose.
I suppose so. Uh-oh.
What?
Boy's broken free. He's running down the stairs. He'll get away all right.
Good. Coming out the front door?
Uh-huh. There, he's opened it.
Oh, fine. Now at least I can see him, too.
Oh, stay back. Don't let him see us.
Oh, a cagey youngster. Look at him eyeing the whole street.
Uh-huh.
Think he's wise?
I hope not.
There he goes. Heading west to the avenue. Come on, it's our move.
No, wait. Henderson's coming out. He'll want to tag along.
Oh, look at him. Charging like a mad bull.
Kent! Batman! Where are you?
Coming, Inspector. Let's go before he wakes up the whole neighborhood.
Did you see him, Kent? He came out the front door. He has the atomizer.
Yes, we saw him. Where did he go?
Oh, confound this snow. You can't see 5 feet in front of your nose.
He went up the block that way.
Well, then what are we standing here for? Come on, we'll lose him.
Easy, Inspector, easy. You'll blow a fuse.
Wait a minute. Where's Lois?
I left her inside with Phillips. Now, come on. I'm not letting that Hindu out of my sight. Hey, where is he? If we've lost him...
Look, Inspector, I think it would be better if you stayed here. Why? Well, Batman and I can travel pretty fast.
I can travel fast, too, if I have to.
I know, but
and besides, if you think you're going to make a scoop of this for the benefit of your newspaper, well, you've got another thing coming. But
Better drop it, Kent. You'll get a chance later.
Okay.
Come on, now.
Right, Inspector.
Still see him, Kent?
Yes. About a block ahead of us. We'll keep this distance.
No. Close it up. I want to keep an eye on him myself.
Careful. We can't afford to make him suspicious. He's our only lead to Mr. Jones.
Maybe yes, maybe no. What makes you so sure Phillips isn't really Jones?
Well...
After all, we've only got his word on this twin brother story.
We've got his actions.
You mean giving the boy the atomizer? That could be a blind.
Yes, that's true. But did you notice him in the street tonight when we were walking to his apartment? He didn't wear a hat or a muffler. Jones wouldn't do that. He'd be wrapped up to the ears.
Yes.
Jones hates fresh air, and on a night like this, nothing would get him out of doors.
Found it. Where's that young Hindu? Can't see him at all.
We're right behind him, Inspector. Stop worrying.
Hey, how the devil can you see through this snow, Kent?
Huh?
Thicker than cotton.
Well,
We'll lose that Hindu boy.
he's only half a block ahead of us now. Oh, wait a minute.
What's the matter?
That isn't the boy.
What? Kent, what are you talking
I
about?
tell you, that isn't the Hindu boy.
Well, how do you know? I can't even see
Watch
it.
it, Kent.
Well, come on. Let's catch up to him.
This is the most idiotic business I've ever... Hey, wait, you two. Wait for me.
Step on it, Inspector.
You're going too fast.
He just ducked into that drugstore up the street. Come on, Batman.
Kent, are you sure about this? You're sure it isn't the Hindu?
Positive. You'll see in a minute.
Then where did the Hindu go?
I don't know.
Well, here's the drugstore.
Right.
There's the boy in the store. The soda fountain.
That's the one.
But it isn't the Hindu.
Well, I don't know about that. What about that box he's holding in his lap? The box Phillips gave him. The box with the atomizer.
Let's check it and be sure.
Are you crazy? You don't want him to know we're trailing him. He'll never lead us to Jones then.
But this may be a wild goose chase, Inspector. We've got to make sure. We can't let him go again.
I don't like this one bit.
I don't either. Come on.
Hey, you.
Huh? Now, wait a minute, Inspector. Take it easy. Don't frighten him.
Look, son. Were you out on the street 2 minutes ago?
Yes, sir.
Did you come from the direction of Maple Avenue?
Yeah, I passed it, but...
It's all right, son. Don't be frightened. We won't hurt you. We just want some information.
Well, gosh, I...
What's in that box?
The box?
Yes, the box. What's in it?
Gosh, I don't know.
Huh?
Honest, mister, I don't know. Somebody just gave it to me.
Are you kidding? Come on, open up.
Wait, Inspector. When did you get the box, son? Who gave it to you?
Just a couple of minutes ago, out on the street, a boy walked up to me, handed me the box and $1, and asked me to wait in here with it.
Uh-huh. Would you recognize that boy if you saw him again?
Yeah, I guess so. He was about my size.
Did you notice anything unusual about him, son? His coloring?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. He was kind of dark. Looked almost like he was Chinese.
That's the Hindu, Kent.
Then why in heaven's name did he give the atomizer away?
He didn't. Do you mind if we open that box you're carrying, son?
I don't know. He told me to hold it
He
for
won't
him.
be back, son. You can be sure.
Come on, hand it over.
All right. But honest, mister, I didn't do nothing wrong. He gave me $1.
It's all right, son. We believe you. Now, let's see here.
Come on, Kent, open it.
I am.
Well?
Great jumping Jehoshaphat. It's empty. The atomizer's gone.
I didn't take nothing out. Honest.
No. We know that, son.
Listen, where did this fellow go? The one who gave you the box.
He ran across the street. Then I didn't see him no more.
You're sure you're telling us everything? You're not making this up?
No, I ain't. Please, you gotta believe me. I didn't do nothing wrong.
Now, come on, you.
Stop badgering the boy, Inspector. He's telling the truth.
Then what about the Hindu? Where'd he disappear to?
Into thin air, evidently. Yes, and he was our only lead. Now Jones is in the clear. There's no way we can stop him from getting the kryptonite.
Is Kent right? Has the mysterious Mr. Jones given them the slip? We'll see in a moment, so stay with us. As Clark Kent, Batman, and Inspector Henderson returned to Philip's home after losing track of the Hindu boy who was carrying the atomizer to the mysterious Mr. Jones, less than a mile away, in a quiet residential section of Metropolis, we find Jones himself, seated in a tightly closed room, illuminated by a single table lamp. The room is hot and stuffy, but the thin figure is wrapped in a heavy overcoat with a muffler wound about his throat and a gauze mask covering his mouth and nose. Suddenly, there is a knock on the door.
Who is it?
It is I, Master. Tara.
Come in.
I have it, Master. I have the atom.
Wait, stop.
Yes, Master.
How many times have I told you never to come near me in the clothes you wear on the street?
I am sorry, Master.
Go back. Stand by the door. You carry deadly germs all over you.
Very well, Master. But I have the atom.
Yeah, give it to me.
Yes, Master.
No, don't come any closer. Throw it.
As you wish, Master.
Come.
Here you are, Master.
My dear brother. I knew he would not fail me. Sentimental fool.
You wish me to put the medicine in it, Master?
No, I'll do it. Now I shall banish these foul germs.
That will kill germs, Master?
Of course. Come here.
Yes, Master.
Stand still now.
What do you do, Master?
I'm sterilizing your clothing, stupid. Now, you're all right.
I am glad, Master.
Did my brother ask you any questions?
Yes, he wished to know where you were.
You didn't tell him?
No, Master. I did not say a word.
Good.
But I play trick in case anybody follow. I give box to boy I meet on street. Keep atomizer in pocket. Then go down in sewer. Walk underground to this street. As you tell me.
And what makes you think no one saw you give the box away?
Snow very thick. Hard to see.
All right. Now I feel well enough to go to work again.
Yes, Master. You wish to go out?
No, you are going out, Tara. You'll deliver a message for me.
Yes, Master.
Take that piece of paper on the desk. There's an address on it.
Yes, Master. This paper?
Yeah, that's it. Go to that address and see a man called the Laugher. Here, give him this coin.
The coin. It has the star and crescent.
Yes, that will be enough identification. Tell the Laugher I want to see him right away.
That is all, Master?
All for him, yes. But not all for us. Before I am through, Tara, Superman will be our plaything.
His deep-set eyes gleaming coldly from his thin, almost skull-like face, the mysterious Mr. Jones utters a dangerous threat. Why is he so anxious to control Superman? And how does he plan to do it? Another Atom Man or some other form of atomic master? We'll learn more tomorrow, so don't fail to listen. Tune in, same time, same station, for the adventures of Superman. This